Stat cards lie. Alright, we all know this, don't we? You should know this. When two aircraft have the exact same stat cards, they may or may not be the same type of plane. When an aircraft stat card says the turn time is this, it may be this. There's a big difference, especially when the testing is done at certain speeds and the other turn rate is done at a different speed. A lot goes into making a stat card. What you should know is that they are not always accurate, especially when it comes to War Thunder Sim, because unlike realistic, we have feel, right? So we know when things are going to wing stall. We have to be a lot more touchy with the aircraft performance and with its maneuverability. And the two aircraft that we're going to be investigating today are the American P51 Mustang Mk.1A, or otherwise known as the Cannonstang, which is the first P51 in the American tech tree, versus the British premium version, the actual historical Mustang Mk.1A. The reason we're even investigating this is because on my last viewer submissions breakdown video, one of the clips had an American tech tree Cannonstang. And one of my good friends, Gooddrink, who's on the Discord all the time, commented about 20 minutes after the video was posted and said, hey, that looks a little different to the one I fly. He flies mostly the British premium version, and said, this looks unusual. And I said, oh, well, that shouldn't be the case because, well, the stat cards are the exact same. And I've never flown the British version of it. So about 30 minutes later, we were in a Discord call with him and my buddy Raptor, all planning to duel. So one of us would take turns flying the American version, then we'd fly the British version, all against each other. And in the end, we'd tally up the score, we'd say all of our thoughts, and that's sort of the idea of this video. But what do you guys think? Do you think there's going to be a difference? Do you think there's going to be a little bit of premium bias? We shall see. In addition to just the straight dueling that we were doing, I was also testing a few things, especially in the two circle fights, trying to see what works, what doesn't work, and to see if like the flaps may have a significant difference between the two planes, things like that. I'm going to keep a tally of the aircraft wins, and I'm going to add my little breakdown commentary down here in the bottom left when I think it's necessary. Remember to put what you guys think down in the comments below before we start. And thanks to Raptor and to Gooddrink for helping me out with this video. If you guys would like to participate in videos in the future, join my Discord down below in the description. I'll be back in a few minutes with a conclusion. Enjoy. So into the first merge here, I'm flying the American Cannonstang, and Gooddrink is in his British one. That's the one that he mostly is comfortable with. In fact, it's the one that I make fun of him all the time for flying on the deck for, because that's somebody who's only flown the American version. I know that once you lose energy in this thing, you're going to be losing a lot of fights, right? The British version may or may not be different, and we shall see. But the way I've always flown this thing is sort of like a very up-end P40. You want to keep your energy, but know that your guns are going to hit super hard. I actually gave Gooddrink a lot of shit for flying the Cannonstangs, because I really like the P51C instead of this version of the plane. And I don't know why, I've just taken a hard stance against the Cannonstang as of recently, even though these guns hit like a truck, at least when you hit your shots. So I've been able to get behind him. He is going to be having connection issues for most of this, and it's also why I think the most accurate fights that we're going to get for this type of situation is when I actually face Raptor, because he had a more stable connection. And for Raptor, the American Cannonstang is his shit kicker, right? So for me, my shit kicker was the P40. So when I say shit kicker, I'm kind of referring to like an old work boot, right? Like a really worn-in work boot. You can tell it's taken just as much as it's given. It's the aircraft that you first learned on. So it's weathered, it's worn in, you know almost all the details about the plane, and everything it especially can't do, right? It's the one that forced you to fly disciplined. It's the one that gave you troubles, but that you stuck with. For Raptor, the American P51, the first one in the tech tree, that's his baby, right? So that's the plane that was his shit kicker. For me, I've never really been a huge fan of them, and I was actually just flying my British Mustang Mk.1A for the first time today. This video is maybe just justifying my premium purchase, but we're not going to talk about that.
The American Cannonstang, I'm just pulling all the way back on the stick.
Are you saying that one's better?
Yeah.
So from your comment, since we're just going to sit in this two circle forever, are you saying yours is better?
Yes, because I can just like pull all the way back on the stick and no wing stall at all.
Do you have combat flaps out?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to change up my tactic then.
What, you're going to try and overspeed me this low in a Cannonstang? What are you thinking? Okay, well, since I'm confident in this one being better, I'm going to do this and then pop landing flaps.
Uh-oh.
Hello, I'm using my internet to my advantage.
Hello.
What?
Your advantage. Well, you said your advantage was to hold the turn, and then you didn't hold the turn.
What are you doing, bro? What is bro thinking?
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is fun.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
What? Are you trying to pull a Cobra on me? What the fuck? Oh, why is my gear still down?
Oh, you almost had it there.
That's scary.
Please, landing flaps, can you raise quicker? What are you doing? Bro, stop flat spinning. This thing's easy to fly.
So I'm just trying to squeeze him out in front here, flying with the full landing flaps going out. So his crew is aced, mine is just on expert. And I know he's probably going to beat me in that first turn just from that alone, even if these planes are exactly 1-to-1. He's just going to be able to pull quicker than I am, because really the limiting factor on this aircraft at a high speed turn, even at somewhere around 380 knots, is the pilot blacking out. That being said, I think I've got enough of these merges to be 1-to-1 to say that, at least in the vertical pool, they're about equal. Remember those shots with the 2 circle? This is that situation right here. Nice. Good shot. And despite me keeping speed and trying to raid around with no flaps in that situation, Mustang got on my 6 and shot me down. So if you're keeping track, that is 1 for the American and 1 for the Brit. Although, yeah, apparently he was on 35 minutes of fuel and I was on 27 minutes. So let's see how the rest of these go. I set the trim to -2. But I like it to pull down on me.
Yeah, it's like takeoff in the Cannonstangs, I'm usually at +18, and on the elevator in like +15 on the ailerons.
I know I'm lagging, but how are you that far down?
Diving for speed.
Diving for speed? What, in a Cannonstang? No, you just stay up on the ground.
Yeah, that should explain his mindset on the Cannonstang. It's a mindset that's very much been confusing to me. But like I said, he does fly the British version, and there may be a difference. He might have something to it.
Yes, this isn't a mistake here. Oh, ooh, lag. Lag just saved me right there.
So I'm dropping throttle here, really trying to squeeze him out in front. I know he's probably sitting high on the throttle, and I'm desperately trying to avoid a wing stall here. Hopefully I can get up high enough, and just barely not enough. If I had gone really aggressive with flaps, I think I might have actually had that shot. But I wanted to keep my energy, especially knowing that we're going to transition into the 2 circle once more. And now I'm just going to kind of do some testing. Can I reverse it? Can I sit above his nose? I don't think I had enough speed coming into this, but he actually gets past me a little bit. I try to just sit up there like a kite, and it's not exactly working, trying to slow my descent.
Why can't I turn? What? Hello, I'm at optimal turning speed.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm in my natural habitat here. No flat on the ground.
His benefits. I'm going to hit you 120 mil at a time, I think. My dramatic reversal actually worked there, and after this little burst right here, we are now going to have it 2-to-1 for the American version. Oh, watch that.
You didn't see that there?
There we go, high
I'm on
speed.
7. High speed, not my natural habitat.
Ooh.
Woo!
Easy lag.
That wing definitely just chopped me straight in half.
Yeah, I jumped to 500 pin.
Training days, you're missing something very important.
No, I'm shedding weight. Less drag.
Weight savings.
Weight savings. Oh my god, what am I missing?
Yo, I'm missing
Your tail.
Oh, the whole thing?
Yes.
Oh,
The entire rudder.
that's why it's not rolling left either. That's great. I'm still trying to fight and just really try not to fall out of the sky. I can't continue that turn because the rudder isn't going to kick me over to be able to follow him, so I just try to dip away. It's not going to work. This is exactly where you want to be in a situation like that. Whew.
How have you
Going
not
in.
flat spin yet? What?
Maybe not.
With the rudder gone.
Holy. Oh, come on.
Woo! But if you're keeping track, we are now 2-2. I would say 2 of those situations, one from Gooddrink and one from myself, were down to, I just flipped you guys off, was down to pilot error.
What are you following me down here? You know I have more time down here than you do.
So this is just combat flaps coming around. trying to keep some speed, but realizing that he's pulling back into me. So I'm actually allowing myself to get a little bit slower in this situation, just to make sure that his nose doesn't come around. If these planes are 1-to-1, that shouldn't be the case. If we're both on combat flaps, this should almost be an eternal, right? This should almost be an eternal two-circle. So what I've gone and done is now I'm in an offset oval. So I'm climbing up, gaining some potential energy, and then coming down with combat flaps in a tighter circle to hold some speed, dropping the flaps, gaining more speed, reclimbing just a little bit, and coming back down. This is a slightly different strategy to maybe give him a different thing to look at and to offset the circle just a tad. Try to optimize the effectiveness of my flaps. And while it may have looked like it was working for a little bit there, he just pulls more in this situation. And once we get close here, I realize that if I extend to the outside, he might actually be able to turn in quicker. And then we're going to have just a long-range head-on situation. So I offset once more, and I go takeoff flaps this time. So now I'm just testing something out. I regain some speed, and we're going to come back down and do the same thing. Combat back out, takeoff back out, landing back out. Here we go. Really trying to change it up here, because I feel like he's gaining the long-term advantage, despite me cooking the engine. I realize we get too slow. Gotta change that up. I feel like he's coming around on me. Let's go full landing flaps. Try to meet him head on here because he's definitely gonna come around on me. And it works in the short term, but now I'm doing 115 knots. My engine's a little cooked. I don't want to keep pushing it into wet, drop it down to 97%, and it might end up costing me. The second the engine drops back down into the lighter yellow color, I put it back to 110, and... Ooh! God! That scared me. Oh, I thought you were a little bit behind. I tried all 4 methods on that one. None of them seemed to function. 3-2, advantage Brits. We're going to change it up a little bit. So instead of going vertical, we'll go horizontal. In this situation, we are going to black out a little bit more because we carry more speed when we go horizontal. And I actually get a really quick shot on him there. It looks like I shot off just a flap. Oh, well, that's some more than a flap. That's clearly some engine damage. Come back around and get him.
Good merge.
Super close merge. Despite having one in the horizontal, I go back to the vertical for some reason. He comes around the horizontal. I don't know what to call that. That's a draw. I think we don't count that one at all. Raptor, what do you think this thing does better? In the horizontal or in the vertical?
Or vertically long. Horizontal, you bleed too much.
You say that, but me going vertical? Okay. Never. A vertical merge, love it. Okay, yeah, this is a bit unfair. Never mind, I did not pop flaps. You're lucky.
Raptor, do you top your jets?
Yeah, I do.
Oop, a bit of lag there. So you're pulling like 55 degrees of AO. Oh my, what the holy, that is not a plane, that is a UFO.
Back into the rolling scissors. I'll take that compliment. Thanks, Gooddrink.
That's not good.
Well, just wait till you start seeing rudder kicks.
Miss a pretty good shooting opportunity there. That's a bad miss in my book. I managed to get him down. He did have connection issues on the back end of that fight, but during the rolling scissors situation, we were all good. So I'm just going to count that win. So 4-3 for the American P51. So with that tally, we go into match 2.
I haven't flown her since yesterday.
So now I'm going to be coming in with the British Mustang Mk.1A, while Raptor's going to be flying his shit kicker, the P51 Cannonstang, and I'm actually going to be rocking the Blue Nose livery on the P51, Blue Nose Boys of Bodney. For those who know, you know. So once more, the enemy aircraft has an ace crew, mine only has an expert crew, and now we're going into it.
Notice how Training Days got his nose on before Raptor did, and that's because the British version's better.
My first reaction was, holy shit, that thing came around quick. Yeah, you did say this one you thought was better, didn't you? And I went into the vertical, which should be his advantage, and I still managed to beat him pretty handily, even with a lesser crew in that first turn. But now he's got more energy than me because I bled significantly more in that first turn. So I'm just going to be sitting up here with my landing flaps, trying to get him to do what he wants to do, and then I can react. Oh, it's gonna be close. Yeah. Very close. Probably about the closest it can get.
Very intimate right there.
I saw you coming.
I was like, huh, let's see if this will work, and you just kept coming around. This thing loves the high speed. You were right. You were very, very. You guys are still keeping track. The American version is 1 up, and then we've had 2 kind of neutrals, right? So it really should be 6-5, but I'm not going to count the 2. So we have 4-3 for the American.
Hey, why are you going up? That's not what you should do.
That shot is there. It's there completely, and I'm just whipping it.
The British version's better. Look, Training Days got his nose on you.
Oh,
Okay, I think I lost me.
I'm still in trouble there.
I'm flipping that.
What am I?
Like-
Oh, yeah, you got my tail. Yeah, it tells.
Oh,
Nah, you don't need that.
when did
The American version doesn't need it.
Training Days get over there?
Okay, I will start.
Dude, I don't know. You might be onto
That thing pulls a little bit better than I thought.
Yeah.
I want to say.
It feels like it's doing better. Now that's a clean kill, so we're even at 4-4, and I can tell you I feel a difference already. If anybody knows the difference from flying a Spitfire versus flying a Zero or any type of Japanese aircraft, you're gonna know the difference that I'm gonna be referencing here, and it's all about feel. Raptor, this really does feel a little bit better, brother.
It feels like this one has good speed retention, but that one just whips around.
Ding, ding, ding. He's onto something here. It's the blue nose, brother. It's the blue nose.
Ooh.
My expert pilot hated that. Just for the record, he was able to match me on that turn. I'm in so much trouble.
Leaving you in so much trouble. Notice how you're winning.
But I do seem to come around just a little bit quicker. I mean, he's flying his thing to the absolute utmost.
Well, he has no flaps now, and you have landing flaps. I will take off. I can't tell from here.
Unfortunately for me, I make some stupid rolls right in front of him, and I actually get squeezed out in front. And instead of bailing off to the horizontal, I go vertical, and I allow him to take landing flaps and get a shot on. It's a fantastic recovery
shot,
from Raptor in this situation, and a very nice shot. 5-4 for the American. Now here's the true fight in my mind. We are back in a 2-circle situation with somebody who is very experienced in the P51, the American, versus me who has been struggling trying to outturn that thing, or this thing technically, in a 2-circle the entire time. And look how quickly I get on his 6 o'clock.
Hispano things. Okay, what? I saw explosions there. He should be dead.
Oh,
uh-oh.
If anything's definitive, I would say that is a definitive test. So because I've kind of established that you can beat him in a horizontal 2-circle, I try to take him vertical, try to take him into somewhat of a rolling scissors if we can get there. And this thing establishes dominance once
What are you
again.
doing?
I don't know, man. You kind of might have a point.
oh!
Like, don't be afraid to pull hard, because I haven't flap spinned in this thing once.
Oh, that was nice. Come on, little plane.
Well, at least you know
Yep.
you won't be spinning like him, because the plane just flies straight.
Raptor, and I can tell you, this one is more stable. I don't feel like I'm having to touch my
I'm
rudder
having to touch
almost at
rudders
all
constantly.
because it's a little touchy, right?
It's a little touchy.
It wants to overroll a bit. What it seems like is that at higher speeds, a vertical type fight will advantage the American version, but anything at a slower speed, probably around under 210 to under 220 knots, is going to be advantaging the British version, and any low speed type landing flap situations will, in the long term, advantage the British Mustang Mk.1A. And there is an intangible difference between these two planes, something that you won't be able to see, but we can very much feel. The American version, especially in that horizontal fight, is something that you always have to fight the elevator for. Sorry, something that you always have to fight the rudder for. I'm constantly making adjustments, trying not to wing stall, and trying not to get it at a perfect speed to where the plane's going to flip over on you. The British version is on frickin' rails, and that's what I mean by the difference between a Spitfire and what it feels like when you fly an A6M0 or an A6M30. Whether that's a premium slider going on, or whether that is just something they forgot to switch over, or just, I don't know, British bias? Something like that? Maybe the Brits just automatically have a better turn time. Who knows what the situation there is? We've got 6 and 5, advantage Britain.
I mean, when I'm like turn fighting at low altitude, this thing is so stable I have to rudder into the ground.
So unfortunately, Raptor does lose sight here, tries to get him to overshoot and just doesn't have the space. So in this one, Raptor got the advantage because Gooddrink actually lost sight first, and now Raptor has the energy advantage, which is where that thing is going to shine. Fortunately, Gooddrink's able to come up and meet him, and they exchange an even amount of gunfire, I'd say. So while I think the Mk.1A probably would have won in the long term if he had stayed in that turn, we're now at 7 and 6.
Oh, that's where he is. He's above me. In a P51? Never. Hey, why are you up there? Can you, like, get down?
Alright.
Alright, cool. Hey, you're just making me shed excess weight. Oh, wait, you didn't even do it. It just gave me black flak because it felt like it. That's your nose. I'm playing this like HGT, I'm popping gear because I can. Okay, well, I've lost it. Oh, lag. I'm like, how are you, like, thousands of meters above me? Did you... Oh, bro? You see, I saw your overall there. That just doesn't happen in this. Oh, bad network connection. Oh, good, that means I can just absorb bullets.
And unfortunately from this point on, I think Gooddrink's Wi-Fi really started to take a crap. And despite a 1-to-1 kill right here, the testing really kind of got murky. And I can tell you from experience by flying the tech tree version in the original duels and then hopping in the British one that there is a significant difference. And that difference sits within the advantage in the horizontal, okay? So it feels like the American version maybe has a little bit more weight, okay? I don't know where this weight is placed. It could be a fuel tank thing, but it feels like it wants to overroll to one side whenever you get probably below 210 knots and you're sitting in the horizontal. If you are above that speed, right, and you are flying in a vertical two-circle, you will likely win the fight over a British version. The British version is a lot more forgiving, and the thing flies on rails. Whenever you're raiding around in a horizontal two-circle, you can see just by the numbers that you hold a significant amount more of your speed through the same amount of turn, and I'm not really sure why this is the case, when they should be 1-to-1, at least according to the stat cards, according to the fuel, according to the ammunition, according to all of these things, they should be the same. I don't know if the amount of fuel that War Thunder places into these planes is in different locations, because placing fuel in a central fuel tank versus something that would be on the wings may make a difference here. And there's really no way for us to know where they're putting that fuel. That's just my leading theory. Well, then why don't you just fill the fuel tank? Because nobody's going to be flying War Thunder planes with full fuel tanks. It's not going to happen. All right? So most of the time you're going to be fighting under 30 minutes of fuel. This is where this fight is taking place for the specific reason to show you that there's just something off, right? I'm not 100% sure why. This could just be premium bias. This could be one of those things that just happens to be a slider. But these are two players who are extremely experienced when it comes to these aircraft, and me just kind of really getting a feel for them. And I feel like I have the ability to pick up on feel of things quite quickly, and I can tell you that there is a difference. If you don't believe me, try them out yourself. I wouldn't say go out and buy the British Mk.1A, but maybe take it out in a test flight. Take it into a horizontal, and you let me know what you think when you do the same thing with the Cannonstang. And honestly, my big takeaway is, good on you, Gooddrink. Dude, just to be able to recognize that there is even a slight difference just from watching a freaking clip, that's pretty impressive. And fine, maybe I'll stop shitting on you for flying at a max altitude of 10 feet and using the earth like a windshield wiper full of Japanese gnats just swarming all around you. It makes a little bit more sense now that I've flown the British version. So gentlemen, I know this testing wasn't super scientific. I don't have graphs. I don't have a ton of data for you. However, from 3 experienced players to you, there is a difference. And I hope I was able to demonstrate that just a little bit today. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you would like to participate in a video like this, or submit something to my viewer submissions breakdown channel, to have one of your clips feature in my videos, you can join my Discord down below in the description. There should be a viewer submissions link down there as well if you just want to go straight to that channel. If you don't have a Discord or don't want anything to do with Discord, feel free to send them to my email as well, either as an unlisted YouTube video or as an MP4 file that I can use to download to my Gmail at trainingdaysyt@gmail.com. Thank you all for watching, gentlemen. Appreciate you, fellas. Have a good one.